Ayo, what's up? New mic, who this? Market Shenanigans, yeehaw! I don't even know what I'm doing with these intros, man. Anyway, another episode of the weekly batch analysis, week 9 here. So, I only have two trades here, not too much to talk about, or at least that's what I always think, and then it ends up being a multi-hour video where I'm just yapping about patience and whatnot. And the irony is that it's hard to be patient to watch the content, right? But yeah, anyway, as always, let's start with the couple last weeks, see what was going on. So, looks like, man, not too many trades these last weeks, and I do like that because honestly, the markets have not been very good. Like lots of sideways, lots of choppy action. So seeing myself not taking many trades, actually pretty damn good in my opinion. So what went well both weeks was the like getting used to the diagonal and horizontal rules, which are by the way amazing. I absolutely love these rules. I've been patient, and what went bad? Well, I slept in one time, and let's take a look at these things. Okay, I put dirt 30 on the contacts, but it wasn't quite ready. Yeah, okay, I see what I'm doing here. Yeah, I should have waited for the candle close. Maybe not necessarily on the daily, maybe it could be like a 12 hour or something. I don't know. Like I could shuffle the time frames around a little bit and see where the reaccumulation looks the nicest. But in general, I always want to see a candle close above the horizontal and diagonal before I start following. So arguably, this was a little bit too early. All right, so next up, I need a strong breakout candle out of both diagonal and horizontal, okay? So not just one of them. And here, I guess I took a trade that was not really strong on the breakout. Yes, it broke out here in the horizontal. That looks kind of nice, kind of chunky, right? Big dick candle, why not? But the diagonal is still here, and this move through, it's like, I don't know, just dragging itself through. Not what I want to see. I want to see impulsivity. So that wasn't good. And here I didn't reduce risk properly. This could have very much been a spread loss or something. But yeah, I think these kind of mistakes, well, mistakes, these kind of situations are gonna happen ultimately. And I don't know, this is like really gray area-ish, right? Because on the 1 minute, these were wicks, and I would like to see a strong candle on the 1 minute. So it's a bit difficult. But yeah, overall, pretty nice, pretty nice. Minus 1.2, minus 1.5. Not too bad, not too bad. So let's go into this week. And if I jump into Notion here, this is my instruction for the week. I've been paying attention to this, so pay extra attention to what assets I put on the context watch list because that determines which markets I am valid to trade, right? And this is the example. That's the JER 30 thingy I talked about earlier. Absolutely. And here, strong breakouts out of both horizontal and diagonal. This is the same picture as from there. So I just look at this every day so that it really gets instilled in my mind and so that it's obvious every time. Okay, so let's go into Monday, see what was going on. No news, nothing. We got a couple of contexts being interesting here. First up, AUD USD. I've been following this for a while. Weekly, very strong move. Daily, very beautiful momentum cycle. Strong candles in my direction, shallow pullbacks. Just generally a nice impulsive market that I'm willing to trade. Next up, we got Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin shorts, of course. I've been following ever since the stage one on the weekly broke down lower, so pretty much after this day here. And there were a couple of valid trades here, I think, and now it's kind of going sideways, and I'm waiting for that impulsive move that breaks some kind of support, and that's going to be a signal for me to follow. Maybe there was even something, I'm not sure. Ethereum, same story. UK 100 has easily been one of the strongest assets ever, and it's been on my watch list for a very long time. Very strong high time frame trend. And gold actually got interesting again after that metal meltdown that happened over here, where silver lost like 40% in a fucking day. We got a formation like side. The market kind of went sideways and then it broke out again. There's an argument to be made that maybe I should not look at this market whatsoever because this dump was just so big. Maybe I should just wait for a new range. Yeah, that's potentially an argument. But I decided to watch it anyway. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, some contexts look good, but need more money to come in. Kinda expecting a no trade day, but I'm stalking gold. And I end up taking a trade on gold. So let's check it out. So here we are, we already saw the weekly and the daily, right? So here we are on the 60-minute, and what do we have? We have a relatively nice push, definitely a momentum cycle, right? EMA's rising, everything above some important level here, then it pulls back quite a lot, goes sideways, but then impulsive move out of this area, right? Out of this stage one. Cool, cool. So let's check it out on the 6-minute. This is insane. Somebody pressed the fucking buy button, right? Pulled back into the rising 1020. Is there a reaccumulation? Most definitely. I mark up the demand here. I want to see that demand fail. That's going to be a true sign of reaccumulation for me. And here it goes down, right? I can draw my diagonal. I can draw my horizontal. Let's check it out here. Yep, the waves are beautifully contained over here. And maybe this was a valid trade. Eh, probably not, because, well, my horizontal and diagonal rules are fractal, so this pullback over here, yeah, that would not work. But anyway, here it got out. Honestly, this is a little bit questionable, but since it's underneath the floating supply and there is the rule met for the react over here, I thought this is kinda alright by stopping this MB. I don't hate this trade necessarily, but something about it is a little bit off. I can't quite tell what it is. Here, I mean, even if the diagonal was this and the horizontal was this, we definitely did have a breakout here, and this is a nice MMB. So maybe I'm hating on this for no reason. But anyway, what ends up happening, let's check out this trade. So I get into it and I reduce risk right over here. That's enough 10-second candles. That's cool. I like that. And it comes back to the intended entry here. So I end up taking a 0.1 R loss. I think that's cool. And here I'm just writing, I saved myself a -1, flawless execution, GG. Very nice. Yep, I mean, definitely over here, the market is not supposed to come back, right? If it comes back, that means that on a higher time frame, this whole move is just a wick, right? All of these V-shaped returns end up being wicks on higher time frames. And it was basically just a liquidity grab, and I do not want to have risk on at this point. If this market wanted to go, it would tap me in, maybe reaccumulate shallowly a little bit above the EMAs and go, 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 right? That's the chance. That's what I'm playing for. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay. So yeah, I think this was a really nice trade. Good. Okay, calling it at 17 and going to practice. Good trade on gold, rules met, management perfect, GG. Okay, cool. Let's go to Tuesday. What do we have? Nothing. Okay, probably just garbage day. Wednesday, some news. I got everything in here. AUD, UK. Oh, JPN. Okay, I added JPN as well. Now, JPN on the weekly, strong, right? Really strong. Daily, okay, so we had some kind of stage one here, some reaccumulation that broke out, MMB1, MMB2, and continuation, already moving higher. This is a perfect context to trade, definitely on the lower time frames. So that's cool. And I actually do end up trading JPN225, so let's check it out. So I already said that on the weekly daily it's looking really strong, right? And here on the, so I have the 100 minutes here again, just to satisfy my, you know, OCD or whatever. It really doesn't matter. Like, when it comes to the time frames here, it's literally just a zoom. It's literally just like if I'm scrolling like this, right? It's just that the candles change, but basically I'm just zooming out enough to see what's going on. The story is the same. If this is a 60-minute or a 100-minute, it doesn't matter. Anyway, here I was trading already. Like, these are perfect places to trade. Beautiful, beautiful. Here it fails, and fails a lot. I draw the diagonal, I draw the horizontal, right? Like here, by the way, this would be a nice example of a chunky candle, but hey, where does it happen? It happens underneath the horizontal, so I don't give a shit about it whatsoever, because I'm expecting range shenanigans in pullbacks, right? These pullback rules, they're fractal. Every single pullback, no matter the time frame, has to go through the same stages. It has to break the diagonal, it has to break the horizontal. So here it finally breaks. Could have probably looked for some trade over here. I assume the time was not right. I can't quite tell. But anyway, this is impulsive. This is very strong. This could easily continue to 60k and above. So here we are on the 10 minute. What do we have? We have a strong breakout, pull back into the rising 1020, breaks out again, pull back into the rising 1020. Beautiful. This is perfect. 1 minute, once again, same fractal rules. Starts pulling back in a wavy fashion. I draw diagonal, I draw horizontal. Price breaks out, pulls back into the rising 1020. Last rule that has to be met, there has to be a low liquidated, there has to be a reaccumulation, and there is. And that allows me to set the buy stop right above the MB itself, and that's the trade that I end up taking. This trade is beautiful. This is perfection. Okay, so mistake, oof. Let me just copy this here. This trade is perfect. I love this trade. Couldn't be better, honestly. This could easily be my case study, and if every trade looked similar to this one, I would be happy with it. So no matter what, I don't care what the result is, but this is good. Let's see what I write here. So after it breaks out here and closes on the 1 minute, I reduce risk to the intended entry. You can see the stop loss is right there above the analysis entry, and I still have 0.2 or risk running. And now I go to the 10-second just to see once the push starts reaccumulating or going sideways, once a new high is breached, that's when I reduce risk completely, and this runs to +5 absolutely beautifully. I was looking for another trade over here possibly, but it didn't present a setup for me, but that's fine. This trade was an absolute beauty. Love it. So just say perfect here. No reflection. All right, that's cool. And I think that's about it. Let's just check what I wrote here. Thursday. Oh, by the way, I was experimenting a little bit with adding my laptop watch list screen over here. So I'm probably for next week going to make a little bit of a refinement to my journal because I kind of like this. And maybe I'm going to make an entry for both start of London and start of New York so that I capture the differences and I make sure that I actually revisit the market after New York opens and make sure that I don't miss anything that gets interesting if New York brings some liquidity and some impulsive moves, right? But anyway, the only thing I was watching was UK 100. So expecting a no trade day, UK 100 looks like the only potential trade. Although UK 100 looks decent, I don't actually have to trade this range. I can pass and wait for something perfect. Yep, this range is garbage. I mean, whatever happened over here, I don't have to trade it, right? I can just be like, yep, nice. Maybe there's some opportunities in this pullback, but I don't care about them because this is weird. It's not perfect, and I want all of my things that I put in here to be perfect. That is what will define me as a good trader, right? It's the choices that I make that are going to lead me to profitability. So not taking anything here, very much a good choice. Love it. And lastly, Friday, here I already refined the thingy a little bit. I have the context on top here. I also looked at JER30 here. Okay, so let's check it out. So after this candle here, honestly, I don't know, man. Like these wicks over here, lots and lots of supply in the market. It's also like just under this supply zone over here where the big drop came from and basically no new low was formed. So maybe this was not actually even something to look at. Like this pullback, this range is ugly. I should not have looked at JER30, I think. Anyway, this is the watchlist screenshot. I really like this. So it's all on the V, on the 10 minute. So you can see that DAX kind of was interesting here, right? JPN was kind of interesting. UK 100 kind of interesting. AUD USD kind of interesting. But actually nothing ended setting up, I think. Silver was interesting as well. Actually, silver was very interesting compared to gold. Gold was super choppy, I remember, but silver was very impulsive. Maybe even more impulsive than me, man. That's something. So yeah, this is going to be my new layout. I really like this layout. This looks cool. And yeah, that's it. That's it for this week. So going into analysis here, trades taken. I have only taken 2 trades and I'm up 4.5. So let's go in here. How does this whole thing work? Um, sheesh, man. Does it work like this? or this. I don't remember. I think I need to do this to prepare the next week. Wait, again. Okay, yeah, like this. Cool. So let's put this in here. What went well, what went bad, all that jazz. So what went well? Diagonal horizontal rules, beautiful, very patient. What went bad? I'm going to say that I still end up putting some market on the contexts that were not quite ready. Yeah, some markets I put in the context watch list were not quite ready, in my honest opinion. And actually, I am going to go here and find them because yeah, like especially J30 over here. I'm going to put some screenshots in there just so I know what the fuck I mean. So this, what else was not quite ready? Maybe something on Monday. UK was cool, AUD was cool, BTC cool, maybe gold? Yeah, maybe gold, maybe gold. Maybe gold. Okay. Anything else that went bad? I don't know, but what went really well was I followed my rules. That's the most important thing. And I think nothing else. Like, yeah, the context, this didn't actually lead to any action taken, but I still want to point this out and have it on my mind. So, results. Let's go back. 4.5. 4.5. And if I had traded perfectly, it would be 4.5 because I traded perfectly. Awesome. Love to see that. So that's that. Let's create the next week here. Yeah. What am I doing? Ooh. Okay, boom. There we go. Week 9. Yep, this is gonna be week 10. Same focus as always. And yeah, that is it. So I'm thinking whether there is anything that I would like to coach myself on. One thing that I do want to point out is the fractality of my rules, right? It's not so much about the specific time frames where I'm like, oh, okay, so time frame 1 has to do this, this, this. Then I can go into time frame 2 and it has to do this, 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 right? Doesn't really matter. Like, what matters is that I am looking for pullbacks, and fractally, the pullback always has to go through the same stages. I have to be able to draw a horizontal and I have to be able to draw a diagonal. And only after I get a strong breakout like this do I actually follow. And this can be on the daily, for example. Like, if this was a daily, after pretty much failing the momentum cycle, so failing somewhere, let's say over here, I wouldn't watch this market until this happens. Even if all of this ends up being, I don't know, months, I don't care. Like, this is a fractal rule and I'm going to follow it every single pullback the exact same way. I'm going to go in here on the daily push and I'm going to look at a lower time frame. I'm going to look at, let's say, a 4 hour or a 1 hour. I'm going to zoom into this, and this is going to look like this on some time frame, right? I'm going to see the waves, and once it starts pulling back again, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And once I have this candle breakout, I'm going to start watching. And here, this could be the 1 hour, and I can go to, let's say, the 6 minute, and I'm gonna see this exact same shit again, right? Exactly the same shit again. And over until I drill myself to the lowest time frame, and that's when I start entering. So that's just something that I wanted to point out. But yeah, overall, I'm feeling super confident these days. I'm really liking how patient I have become. And yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to check here is the forward test itself, the stats, right? I'm still in quite deep DD. I think it's like 16R or something. Yep, 16R. I would totally be out of it, by the way, if, for example, just an example, if in week 2 I would actually not trade with the EMA rules for management, and I would trade with 5R fixed. I would already be out, but I have to be 100% honest with myself, and that's why I am still here, and that's why I'm still going through this tedious process of getting out of this DD. But believe you me, once I get out of this, I am going to be fucking ready. And never have I believed in myself more than I do right now, and I think I will get there. If it takes months, so be it. If it takes the whole year, so be it. I don't care. Once it's done, I will be ready, and that's when shit gets crazy, man. Anyway, here I am. This expected value. By the way, this is from beginning of 25. Okay, so this is like 14 months of testing, and this includes all the changes that I have made. So you could say, hey, this isn't completely accurate. I would agree with you, but it's the evolution of me, okay? Evolution of my style. Here, I made a lot of mistakes. That's why I got into this. Maybe here I was making mistakes and this was just easy mode, but I guarantee you, if I had traded perfectly, my equity curve would be beautiful and rising like crazy. And most likely during these moments over here, maybe it would slow down a little bit, but it would be rising nonetheless. So ever since pretty much here, I think I started refining my rules in a way to be more patient, not trade choppy markets and all of that stuff, to only trade when every time frame is ready. And it's been going well. I've been doing a lot of mistakes, but I think it's been it's been ever since this point over here that I introduced the horizontal and diagonal rules. And these rules, they are not like anything new per se. These are not rules that change my strategy. No, they are rules that make it easier for me to follow my own approach. Much easier, so much easier. Like, I can't even compare. All the stuff that I was doing before was really kind of confusing, I would say, and there was a lot of room for mistake because I wasn't completely sure, like, should I trade here, should I not trade here, is the high time frame ready, is this that, blah fucking blah, who cares. Now I have super simple rules that always get me into the prime fucking areas, all the way from the daily down to the 10-second. So I'm very optimistic. I'm very positive about this. And yeah, only time will tell. But we gotta believe in ourselves, right? Okay, how long have I been yapping? 22 minutes. That's way too long. Okay, peace out.